Hi guys! So I'm Jess and I make planting videos on YouTube. Today I am wanting to go through what to do with your plants that you are introducing into your home, those new plants, and what you should do with them. So I'm going to start off with, do not just bring them into your home and introduce them with all your other plants. So don't just put them directly next to all your other plants, because it might have pests and you don't want that to go throughout your whole collection. I've had it before and it is very stressful. I brought a new plant into my collection and didn't isolate it or anything, and I learnt my lesson because I had a massive thrips infestation and I didn't realise for a while. It was going through a time where I was kind of neglecting all my plants, but I didn't realise, and it damaged a lot of my plants and like my favourite ones as well, and it took a long time to get it under control. So I have learnt my lesson, and these are the steps I take when I have a new plant. So I bought this philodendron silver sword at the weekend, and I was away for the weekend, so it has been for a little bit of a trip. I mean, I was home for the weekend visiting my friend because it was her birthday, and went into a garden centre and I saw it and I was like, I have to get it. So yeah, it's kind of been in the car, in and out the car, travelling and stuff, so it was quite stressed. I've left it a couple of days to kind of calm down. I put it in a corner in my room where there aren't any other plants. It gets a good amount of light but not direct, and just left it a couple of days to acclimate a little bit. But today I am wanting to clean it down, and I'm going to go through the different steps I do. So number one is to isolate your plant, as I did. Yeah, just put it in a corner. Put it in a corner, no other plants are near it, so if it does have any pests, nothing's going to get on it. Number two is look over your plant and prune if needed. If there's any sort of damaged or dying leaves you don't want, I usually take them off now. So I'm going to go through that now. Let's take it out of this cover pot. So this plant is actually in quite good condition. There are some like damaged leaves and some that are older and they are sort of dying off, so I'm going to prune. There's any kind of one of those I'm going to prune. You don't have to do this step, it's just something that I do. So I've taken this leaf off. It's quite damaged, and it just doesn't look great. So take that one off, and I don't think there are any others I would like to take off. No, there are not. So that's really good. So number two is inspect for pests. You just need to sort of look at the leaves and see if you can see anything. Always look at the backs as well, because a lot of them are sneaky and live on the backs of the leaves. So if you just have a look, I always find as well using the torch on your phone really helps. It just highlights anything that could be there. So I am going to do that if my phone decides to work. No. There we go. Okay, so upon inspection of this guy, there is evidence of spider mites. So good job I isolated it. This is why you isolate it, because if I'd put this in with my other plants, most likely those spider mites would have gotten onto some other plants and I'd be in a much worse situation. So I'll show you what the spider mites look like. Doesn't look like there's much of an infestation, so it might be hard to show you, but I will give it a go. So I don't know if you can see on this leaf, but in this groove here, I don't think you're going to be able to see it on the camera. But can you see in this groove, there's like all these tiny white bits. There is webbing on there as well. And I saw it on some of the backs of the leaves. I don't think you're going to be able to see it that well. So what I'm going to do from here is clean down all the leaves with a neem oil solution. So what I use, first of all, before I use any sort of chemicals or anything like that, I mix a neem oil solution, so a couple of tablespoons of neem oil in about a pint of water, warm water, and a couple of drops of like a very gentle, really baby soap I usually use, and shake it all up and it will mix together. So that will act as a pesticide, so I use this as in the first cases. And then if that doesn't work, I will then go in with a more heavy chemical solution, but most cases with spider mites, neem oil does usually just get rid of them. So I'm going to go straight in and show you what I do. So when I was inspecting, I did actually notice this leaf and I want to get rid of that one just because he's not in tip-top shape and he's got quite a lot of spider mites on it anyway, so I just think he can go. He's near the bottom, so he's probably on his way out anyway. So first off, I've got my neem oil solution in this spray bottle. I know this spray bottle is a bit rank, but I've had it for years and it's what I use for my neem oil, and yeah. So I always use like little cotton wool pads. I don't know why, I just sort of always use them. Tissue paper always breaks up and it's really annoying, whereas these don't like using, like people use microfiber cloths and things, but I just use cotton wool pads, and I will spray a little bit onto the cotton wool bud and then a little bit maybe onto the leaves as well, just like a really gentle spritz. I would maybe usually do this like in the bathroom or maybe even outside, but I feel a bit weird filming YouTube videos outside with my neighbours because I think I'm nuts and chatting to myself, so. And then I just take my cotton wool bud and I will just go over the tops of the leaves. Just make sure you're getting all of the creases and crevices, and then underneath as well. Because spider mites love living underneath the leaves, so you've also just got to make sure you're very thorough and don't forget the backs, because a lot of the time that is where they stay. And then just go all over the plant with this. You go for a couple of cotton wool buds and you might have to keep spraying it, but just keep with it, make sure you're very thorough. I have wiped down all of the leaves with the cotton wool pads and neem oil solution. What I will now do is I'm going to take this into the garden and I'm going to give it a good spray down the fronts and backs of the leaves with the neem oil solution. I'm doing it outside just because then it doesn't matter if it drips everywhere. So I'm going to quickly do that now. I'm not going to take you with me because it will only take a couple of seconds. So now that this is all clean and has been disinfected or whatever it is, I'm going to not pot this up yet. I know some people, as soon as they get their houseplants home, they will pot them up straight away, which I do agree with to a certain extent, just because sometimes the potting mix isn't as you'd want it to be, and for example, like the soil this is in, I'm not going to be keeping it, definitely. I will put my own potting mix in there, but this plant will be under a lot of stress at the moment because it's been through lots of travel. You know, it's been from the supplier to the garden centre, and then it's been into my car, in and out, into people's houses, back, and then finally here. It's also got pests, so it is going to be very stressed out, and I've had plants that have just conked on me because they're stressed, and I don't want that. So I will pop this in a corner of a room, again isolated from all the other plants. I will check it on every couple of days just to check to see if it's got any spider mites or anything, if there's any evidence of it, and I'm just going to let it acclimate to my home. So I'm going to make sure that it's happy and it's doing well, and yeah, so then in the next couple of weeks, I will then pot this guy up in my own potting mix, and I'm also, this is the point where you can decide whether you want to add a moss pole or anything like that into the middle. I want this guy to climb up really nice and high. I'm probably going to put a wooden stake in the middle and try and get it to root onto the pole. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that'll be in the next couple of weeks. I will do that. I'm just important to let it just acclimate to your home before you give it any more unnecessary stress, which repotting can really stress your plants out, and they're already under some stress from the travel. So yes, it's best not to do that. So it is very quick and easy. It's nothing that's too much of a faff. I know some people are just like, oh, I can't be bothered to like do that. They'd rather just have it in their house, like with all their other plants. Like you've got your new baby and you want it all nice and in your house. But trust me, I've learned the hard way, and you do not want a big infestation because it will ruin your prized possessions. And you just don't want that. It's just easier just to wait a couple of weeks, isolate it, and just ensure that it's safe to bring it in and introduce it into your home and your other plants. Okay guys, so that is all for today. It's just a very small, quick video just to tell you, just to help you and show you what to do when bringing your houseplants into your home. So I hope you all enjoyed, and if you liked this video, please consider liking it, subscribing for more planty content. So yes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye!